Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Stadium Rant proudly presents to you the most electrifying wrestling show in the world. We are your hosts, the Bake Show, Shake and Bake, the Nard Dog, Bernard Green, and the Professor Nicholas Mulick. We are Ringside Rant, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about this week, ladies and gentlemen. SummerSlam just happened. Monday Night Raw was absolute bananas. There was betrayal. There was triumph. Everything you could have wanted. There was comedy. Seth Rollins, the jester of WWE. We'll get to all of it. We'll get to you guys in chat as well. Make sure you're dropping a like, subscribing, all that good stuff. But before we get to any of that, my phenomenal co-hosts, gentlemen, how we doing today?
Oh man, I'm feeling great. I just got done chow down at Texas Roadhouse and a nice steak and the rolls. Oh man, I'm full now, ready to go.
Oh
Man,
yeah.
I've never gone to a Texas Roadhouse. Is that good?
You need to go try their rolls. They are absolutely phenomenal. I'm telling you.
Hmm.
Honestly, probably the best part.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. I've never gone before, so
Yeah.
Well, Nicholas, how you doing, man?
doing good, doing good. Wow, that was a Monday Night Raw. I really enjoyed that. That was a very awesome show.
Yeah.
SummerSlam is great. AEW Dynamite was I mean, not that great, but yeah, it's been a crazy week post SummerSlam. I want to ask you guys a question. How do you guys like the White Six match on Raw between Gable and his group? What do you guys think?
I mean, honestly, I thought so. That was my number one concern with this entire thing was, is it going to work in the ring? Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's just as good as the original Wyatt family was in the ring. The way Harper and Rowan used to have that chemistry, the way Gacy, Loomis, and Rowan have chemistry right now is unbelievable. You would have thought they would have been together since the original Wyatt family, but they haven't. The only two that have known each other since then are Bo and Rowan. So, like, it's crazy to see them. And Nikki Cross also having success, not really getting into the action yet, but she's been phenomenal in her role, still getting into the action. And she's officially been labeled as Abby the Witch, Sister Abigail. So that's pretty cool as well. I loved it, and I was very concerned about it. I think they did it absolutely proper. I like that Bo just kind of sat on the outside like Bray used to do. That's the thing I think is going to be the trickier part, but I will say this. I think Bo can learn from that and move forward. I'm hoping anyway. Bernard, how do you think? What do you think about
Honestly, it's it's cinema. It
it?
is cinema. I just been daydreaming of the fact that how that Y6 could go up against the new Judgment Day 2.0. I mean, I think that'll slap heads off like for real. That's what I think of it.
Yeah, let me say one thing, and you guys didn't mention this. I think the person who looked the best in that White Six debut was Dexter Loomis. This is the best he's looked. Like I was not a fan of what they were doing with Dexter Loomis with him and Indy Hartwell. That was just total nonsense. Uh, by the way, he looks awesome with his new look. This is like the
Yeah,
best he's looked in a while, and I like how his dreads are sort of similar to Bray Wyatt's, but
yeah,
he's a little bit more blonde. But yeah, Dexter looked amazing. This is the best he also looked in the ring too. Him and Rowan have great chemistry. Gacy is
yeah,
always great. I love Joe Gacy in when the newer NXT episodes came out. And
yeah,
bro, Rowan Rowan is this is the best he's looked too, because when he split off from the Wyatts, I'll be real, Rowan wasn't that great. He just,
no,
excluding, when he was managing, recycle version Daniel Bryan when he cared about the environment. Rowan has been a disappointment since he left the Whites, but now he looked great. But yeah, it did its job. I'm excited where they go from here. My one issue now is what's next for Chad Gable, because they've botched his booking for
yeah,
so long, and I don't want to see him face against the Alpha Academy. I'm sorry, I don't want to see it. And I love the Creed brothers too, but I don't know where they go from here with them. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid question. I mean, maybe you can push him towards the Intercontinental Championship
Too
again. Now,
little, too late. Too little, too late with that.
I think you missed the boat on it, but I think as a heel, it would be different. And I think you could keep the belt on him longer as a heel, especially with the Creed brothers.
Yeah, but
I just didn't feel it with Otis. I don't know.
yeah, here's the problem with going after the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker has that title, and
Yeah,
they don't like doing heel versus heel, and
true.
that and WWE. It's just it rarely gets done. I mean, there's simple cases of that happening, but I don't know where you go from here with Chad Gable. You don't. They the biggest mistake they made, and I love Sami Zayn. The biggest mistake they made at Mania not only was not giving the U.S. title to LA Knight, it was not having Chad Gable beat Walter. It was perfect, but they gave it to Sami Zayn. I don't complain about Sami Zayn. That was my second choice, but again, I don't know where they go with Chad Gable here.
Me neither.
I think it might be just done for him. And yeah, Bernard, you can give your take on that too.
I think I agree with Nicholas here. I think that the boat has sailed. The boat has sailed, and Braun Breaker came in on the main roster extremely, you know, on a hot streak. Just going on a rampage on everybody, and nah, I don't see it. I don't.
He's basically where the Final Testament are. The Final Testament of the Karrion Kross faction, which WWE's clearly given up on the Final Testament. But the one positive on Monday Night Raw with them, kind of, we finally got the debut of Odyssey Jones. It's been 2 dang years. We finally get him to be a part of Monday Night Raw after being a part of 2 drafts. And he's now a part of the New Day. I mean, now, keep in mind, Xavier Woods was a little perplexed in that segment, but come on, Odyssey Jones is basically the replacement to Big E. I mean, I hate that Big E's he's probably never going to get in the ring again, especially with his neck issue, but I'm glad they're using Odyssey Jones. It's about time that they finally used Odyssey Jones.
Oh,
But I do have
100%.
one concern about that though. Being that he's in, I guess the New Day and all is like, I don't know if y'all pay attention, but Xavier Woods, he was
I
kind
said
of,
that.
that's what I say. I think either him or Kofi Kingston might go heel. I don't know, but I think mostly Xavier Woods might go heel after that because you read his vibe, his body language, like, nah, I ain't feeling it. And how long you know this guy now, and when you's gonna keep me in the loop and all. So I got a feeling it might lead towards a heel turn in the near future.
My advice: don't join the Final Testament. That faction's long dead. And I love Karrion Kross and Scarlett; they're great. But listen, the Authors of Pain are terrible. They are bad. And I wasn't a big fan of them in NXT. And I'm glad Paul Ellering's back, but it's too little too late with Authors of Pain. I'm done with them. I'm done with the Final Testament. I'd rather have Karrion Kross go on his own. The ship has sailed with that faction.
Yeah, it's a little rough there. And I mean the ship might also kind of be sailing with the New Day as well. I mean, obviously they always get love, but like, is
It's
it
not the
more than
same.
just like a nostalgia, like, oh, it's the New Day, like that's it. And we'll always love them. They're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. This is no shade on them whatsoever. But like, I think Bernard brings up a great point to the heel turn for Xavier Woods. If he doesn't do that, he's doing nothing in his career on the main roster outside of winning tag titles.
And
He will
being
be
King of the
the
Ring.
only one to not wing. Oh yeah, for 5 minutes, and then Roman took a nice fat pee on that crown and smashed it and made the King of the Ring an absolute joke. Anyway, it's saved now. Thank you, Gunther. But yeah, I think that's got to be the way. He has to either be pushed towards or win a singles title, or else he's done because he's getting to the end of the rope too.
Absolutely. I like the New Day of, and I love Kofi, I love Xavier, but it's sort of been like they've been on the downhill since Big E's injury, and I think Kofi too has been battling stuff too. Like he's constantly
Yeah,
been hurt with his what was his AC joint, his shoulder, if I remember
I
correctly. Yeah, it was.
think
I looked
so.
it up. Uh, we'll see where it goes from here. But I think it's a step in the right direction. Honestly, Jones is there because it adds something to that faction because they've been boring. They've just been boring, and this gets a little bit of excitement. Little bit.
Definitely. I mean, we got other things that happened on Monday Night Raw, and they were all stemming from the madness that was SummerSlam. So we can kind of do a little double dutch here, talk about the match from SummerSlam and hop right into Monday Night Raw, what happened after that, in and out. I can't double dutch. I imagine that's what you do. I never done it. I think I'd fall down.
Double dutching's not fun, especially when you're like jumping rope. Like I trip all the time when I try to double dutch. You should have seen me in high school. I was bad at double dutching. It was so bad.
Listen, chat, if you're good at double dutch, maybe you can give us lessons someday. But listen, let's crack down SummerSlam. All right, we already mentioned Gunther. I said thank you. The King of the Ring means something again. Gunther went in there, got the job done against Damian Priest, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and the Judgment Day collapsed. That was the last piece to go. So much happened in that match, and it's almost easy to forget how good that match was before any of that happened, because Damian Priest and Gunther showed out. Those two can ball.
That should have been the main event after many days of thinking. Like, no disrespect to Solo Sikoa, it's just he's not a main eventer.
Disrespect?
The main event
Not
should have been
personally.
the main event should have been Walter versus Damian Priest. And as much as I hate what they did with the Morgan and Dominic stuff, the Finn Balor and Damian Priest stuff I like a lot. And I sort of like how they explained that. And Finn Balor, again, long-term booking, going back to what was the pay-per-view? I can't remember.
It was SummerSlam last year.
Yeah, SummerSlam last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Priest costed Balor, and he's been prepping his revenge all this time, which I already knew that was where the plan was going, because behind the scenes you could see Liv Morgan and Finn Balor going into cars. I just hope they explain why Dominic chose someone who harassed him months after months after months, but we didn't get that explanation. But listen, I'll trust the booking here.
Hey, Ray beat the hell out of him before he joined the Judgment Day.
Exactly, but getting back, I'm getting off topic now. Getting towards,
we'll get back to that.
Yeah, getting towards Gunther and Damian Priest. I loved what they did, and I loved the promos that they had on Gunther's promo. JC, Jesus Christ.
JC don't miss a beat with the Liv.
Oh God, no, he does not. I loved Gunther's promo on Raw, and we'll get to why a little later. I want to see what Bernard thinks about the SummerSlam match first.
Yeah, but one of Gunther and Damian Priest, it was a good match. It was a good match, but honestly, I say I have to blame Damian Priest for, I say, gotten like a little too comfortable after a year ago of him costing Finn Balor the match at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship, because believe it or not, I almost forget that even happened until Finn Balor mentioned it in his promos package. And I think Damian Priest was Money in the Bank at the time. Yes, he was Money in the Bank at the time, and he cost him the match. I felt like Damian, like I said, got a little too comfortable, and that Finn Balor, I'm gonna believe he held that for a whole year. And so I think of the matches, it was a great match. Like I said, congratulations to Gunther, congratulations to Damian Priest, and for a pretty good championship reign. But like what everybody was saying online and on other shows, that they wasn't really feeling Damian Priest's World Heavyweight Championship reign, because it felt like there was a asterisk to it. But I'm looking forward to this Finn Balor Damian Priest feud. Especially, I think it's gonna go down at Bad Blood, and what I'm trying to go to anyway. Thank you, Shake Bake, for the information. But it's gonna be a wonderful feud. Him and Finn Balor. Maybe Liv and Rhea again. Who knows? I don't know. It's gonna go wild.
I think what I think is gonna happen is it's gonna be Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest versus Liv Morgan and Finn Balor at Bad Blood. That's why I think they're going to
Bad
go.
blood.
This feud is not going to end after one match. Like I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, after Bad Blood or Clash at Berlin, it will end." No, this is going to continue for way longer than that.
Mhm.
Right.
And my favorite spot of the match is when Gunther was putting Damian Priest in the sleeper hold, and Gunther was like battling just to get to Finn Balor.
Mm.
And he was fighting. It made him look strong, made him look great. And while he lost, he looked amazing. Well done to both men. Kudos to Walter as well, even though with his chest bleeding, which was really crazy. And that goes to show how strong Priest is too. We never see Gunther bleed, especially in the
Nope.
chest area. So
Oh no.
that was kind of cool. But you guys gotta admit one thing. If you see that Raw promo he did, and you know what, we'll just discuss this now. When Randy Orton came out and they're finally set up a match, I love that Walter said, "Oh, that match we had with you at King of the Ring, that had an asterisk on that. I want to break that asterisk. No fight, because they didn't fight with each other. They shook
Yeah.
hands in the middle of the ring. They did have a verbal speaking one-on-one with each other. No fight, but you don't see a lot after, a feud starts. So that's interesting, and I like where they're going with this. But I want to see what you guys think about that promo he had in Randy Orton coming out.
I thought it was phenomenal. I think Gunther just gets better on the mic every single week. Not that he was ever bad. I just think the fact that he can come up with new things to say, but he's always basically saying the same thing. But he's just he's a well-read man. He knows a lot of words, and he sounds really good when he says it, and he just puts them together in different ways. So it comes across differently, and his presence with the title. And I'm a freaking wrestling nerd, chat, okay? I'm a bit of a purist, okay? So when Damian Priest held the title and you could see both nameplates, that drove me nuts. It made him look like he was a 3-year-old and the belt was too big for him. Gunther, he's got that thing on his shoulder like he's the damn champ. And it just looks so much better. And this is not a knock on Damian Priest's reign, because I enjoyed it and I think it did so much for him. And he is much better now than he was before he won Money in the Bank. And not everybody can say that. But the way he held the title was weak, and he needs to work on that. And if I see him in person, say, DP, I love you, but you got to work on it. But that's my take on it. I thought it was awesome. I'm really excited for Randy Gunther. I'm glad they're going to right that wrong. I feel sorry for Randy Orton because he's about to get piss pounded by one of the biggest men on the roster, but it should be a good match.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And also too, with Gunther's promo and Gunther's presence and all, like with his promos and all, it's like it gets me like a little upset and pissed off to the point where I want to slap him across the face or across on TV and all. But see, that's what you call good heel work too, from Gunther. So like I said, I may not like, that's probably why that I may not like the guy, because I don't like heels, like baby faces, but I must give it to Gunther. He about to make the World Heavyweight Championship more prestige, and makes like more, everybody wants to go after it.
Yeah, and shout out, welcome back Ludwig Kaiser. I've missed him so much. He just adds that special element to Gunther. And I also I love the Monday Night Raw match he had with Sheamus. That was pretty fun. Excluding the interference we had with Pete Dunne, but I loved what they did with his return. But yeah, I love Gunther. He's gonna hold this title for a while, and I'm excited to see where this goes from here. And that match with Randy Orton, I think, should be good. But again, you got to worry about the back because he had the fusion surgery.
Yeah.
But it's Randy Orton. He's gonna have a good match.
Yeah.
So quick question.
Really quick though, because he just said it and I don't want to forget. Would we be surprised if it was a squash, because Gunther got a victory in a really great match at King of the Ring, but it got screwed up by the referee not realizing Randy's shoulder was up? And do you think they're going to be like, all right, well, Gunther's got to go in there now and just Randy's going to have his moments. He's a legend. He's not going to get buried in 3 minutes. But I think it's going to be a really dominant performance, and I don't think Randy's going to have much to do. He's going to hit an RKO, and Gunther's going to cook out to look strong.
Right, right. So Gunther hold the UK championship for how long? 900 something days.
Around there.
It was 800
Uh,
and change, I think.
and okay, now he held the Intercontinental Championship for 666 days.
Yep.
So with that being said, I'm predicting right here live that he's going to hold the title for about, I say, year and a half, 2 years. That's my prediction.
Ooh,
I could see
that's
that.
interesting.
Yeah,
I predict he's going to drop it at Mania 41.
that's
I
too
think
soon. Cause
I
see,
get it. I get it, but that I don't I don't know if he'll hold it for 2 years. Like you can't have too many 2-year reigns. Uh maybe I'm wrong, but I think Mania 41 is going to be the time where he drops it, but again, we don't know if he could stay healthy that long. Injuries
True.
could.
He's a worker.
He is a worker, and he should be fine. Maybe he will, but I just think Mania 41 will be the time he drops it. Who he will
Be
drop it
interesting.
to will be interesting, but I I think he's going to drop it at Mania 41.
could it be
Y-
CM Punk? Could it
You
be
know who we might
Rollins?
drop it to, gentlemen?
Who?
Who?
Roman?
No, I'm trying to point to it.
I can't see what
John
you're pointing
Cena?
to.
Yeah.
What are you
John
talking about?
Cena?
What are you talking about? We
Give
can't
him
see him.
number 17.
What are you talking about?
Give
We
us
can't see him. How are we going to be able to see him do it?
Listen, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be a ghost holding the World Heavyweight Championship, and he will cement himself as the greatest of all time, undisputed. I don't think he'll actually lose. Honestly, I think if it's Gunther versus Cena at Mania, I think Gunther gets the win. But
I mean,
it's been penned
we'll
in.
see.
It has been penned in. John Cena versus Gunther. They are planning that match at some point.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I still hope that Cena at least holds the Intercontinental Championship because I want to be a Grand Slam. Like if it were me, I'd rather go have him chase the IC title than the World Championship. But I wouldn't mind a World Championship run from him.
No.
But
So you mentioned him, or Bernard mentioned him. CM Punk. It was pretty much exactly kind of how I thought it might go in that match with Drew McIntyre. I thought Seth was going to cost CM Punk, and he did. Inadvertently, we had a Batman versus Superman situation. It wasn't as dumb as why did you say that name, but it was over a bracelet that Seth Rollins just picked up.
Punk is such an idiot, dude. He really is such an idiot with how he lost that. And we'll talk about it later, but I had a feeling Rollins was still injured because he had to take on the ref role, and it has been confirmed he is injured, and he got written off in such a beautiful segment with Bronson. I'm glad they chose Bronson Reed to be the one to take him out. And the way they shot it was great, but going back to the McIntyre and Punk match, that was a great one. But Punk looked like such an idiot to focus more on the bracelet than his opponent and McIntyre. He acted like such an idiot. And when he was about to give the finishing blow, he goes after Rollins for wearing the bracelet. Which, by the way, why? I thought about this too. Rollins, why are you wearing the bracelet instead of like putting it in your pocket?
Yeah.
Like normal referees would do, or throw it out of the ring or something like that. Like, why do you got to put it on?
It's for the plot.
It's still stupid. It really, like, am I the only one that thinks it's stupid that he puts it on instead of put it in his pocket?
Or just like toss it out of the ring. Yeah, which was what they would do with any other piece of equipment that came off. They just toss it out of the fucking ring. But it was because Seth had to be involved and be in the outcome of the match. It was the plot. But Bernard, how'd you feel about this one? We talked about it on the kickoff, but not everybody on the recap. But not everybody was there.
So, like I said again, another phenomenal match. But like I said, I give the blame to CM Punk on this one. CM Punk, yeah, I can't defend you in this. You worry about a little bracelet, which is, well, I understand got some meaning to it, but still it's materialistic. No one can touch your wife AJ Lee or your dog Larry, but you let a simple thing such as a bracelet cost you the match.
Well,
And
the Young Bucks kind of got after Larry the dog, but in their backstage
I
fight.
mean,
But
but still, it's like you in a match with one of the men, if not the most hated man that you despise the most, and Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre trying to take your head off your body, man. You supposed to be head on focus on that match. If I was CM Punk, like, damn the bracelet. No one can touch my wife and dog. I'm trying to beat your ass, Drew McIntyre. You know, I try to take you out. I trying to injure you like you injured me at the Royal Rumble. Then let alone you prey on it. It's like, I blame CM Punk on that match. That he lost that match. Great match, by the way. Like I said, it's phenomenal. But CM Punk, screw CM Punk in that match. That's my take on it.
oh,
What about you, Shake,
1000%.
babe?
Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree. I will say this. Of course, that had to happen, right? Think about the storytelling of it. What was CM Punk saying for months about Drew McIntyre? He was focused on the wrong things. It cost them the World Heavyweight Championship. It cost them the Money in the Bank. Well, it cost them the World Heavyweight Championship twice. And then what happens when he
Three
finally
times.
gets? Yeah, what happens when he finally gets in that match? Drew's locked in. Drew gets the win. CM Punk distracted, loses, and now has to fight another battle with a guy he didn't like, but let's be honest, there was no necessary collision course until that match. It's wonderful storytelling. And, I think not that it's underpraised because it's not, but the storytelling, and I mean, my God, the long-term storytelling that Triple H is able to do is absolutely phenomenal. And he's allowing the superstars to go through these stories on their own, relying on the superstar's character work. And that's not something Vince would allow to happen. He's like, you're going to do it my way, and I am going to develop your character.
Yeah,
so now we're seeing the good come up and the bad go down. And good and bad.
The problem with Vince, and I said this for years, even though Vince McMahon, again, get your divorce lawyers ready, dude. You're gonna need them. But the problem with Vince was he was like, if it was entertaining to him, then it would be entertaining to everybody else. That was his motto. He only cared about himself, and Triple H cares about more than just himself. And even the short-term booking has been great too. Like the long-term booking has been 1,000 times better than what it was, but the short-term booking has been better with Triple H.
Right.
And I'll give you another example. Even though I think the short-term booking was kind of meh with this match on SummerSlam, LA Knight finally got his title. LA Knight finally got his United States title. He beat the absolute piece of work known as Logan Paul, who yet again is getting sued for the 10,000th time. I mean, this guy's like the DJ Khaled of lawsuits. Another one. Like, dude, dang. Like, how many lawsuits has this guy gotten into?
Right. And also, too, I like that WWE is under Triple H's view because, see, Triple H, relates with the wrestlers. Because let's not forget, Triple H was also a wrestler. Now he's a Hall of Famer. So he relates to the wrestlers more as far as character change, character development, storytelling. He connects with the wrestlers way more than Vince McMahon has ever done. The only way Vince McMahon connected with wrestlers such as like a Brock Lesnar or any other wrestler that's like a Vince's guy,
like a Hulk
is
Hogan,
basic. Hulk Hogan
Great
is
Khali,
because
like those type of
right, yeah, because of the fact that they're willing to suck and kiss up to Vince McMahon. Other wrestlers today is not going to do that.
And they're tall.
Yeah.
And they're
shout out to Triple H.
Yeah, shout out to Triple H, dude. He's amazing. And I mean, Stephanie gets a lot of hate sometimes too, but shout out to Stephanie. She was at SummerSlam as well. I'm glad she's still welcomed with open arms. I'm pretty sure they'd accept her working there in a heartbeat. But yeah, kudos to both of them. Kudos to Triple H.
Yeah, they definitely need the women definitely need Stephanie back. That mid card and lower needs a lot of help. But we talked a little bit about it, that short-term feud, LA Knight versus Logan Paul, United States Championship match. This week on Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast, The Undertaker showed up.
Oh, God.
He had nice things to say about the former United States champion.
A little too nice. No offense, Mark Calloway, but a little too nice.
Some of us agree. Some of us disagree. We'll start off. Yeah, we'll start off with Bernard. And what we think of Logan Paul's title reign and The Undertaker's comments on said reign.
Okay, let me start off with two things. First of all, I'm a huge fan of The Undertaker. I'm a big fan of yours, Undertaker. In case you happen to watch this video, I love your work. Thank you for the 30 plus years that you have done for us in the ring. I respect you, but I disagree on your take. Logan Paul, he's phenomenal. I mean, to say he just came up from doing YouTube content and all, he's great. But I'm gonna have to push back some on the Undertaker when he say he make the U.S. title relevant again. No. Here's my thing. When you're making a title relevant, like with Gunther, you make the title relevant. Now more people want to go after you to take it off your shoulders. You look at Roman Reigns when he was the undisputed WWE champion, not Cody Rhodes. He's making the title even more relevant. Once again, people want to go after it, even though it's tied up in the bloodline and all somehow. That's how I look at as relevant. What else you look at? You look at now Braun Breaker. He's about to make that Intercontinental Championship relevant once more. And next you know, more people's gonna go after it. And plus, not only that, all those people that I just mentioned, they're showing up to work. They're not sitting at the house or driving cyber trucks, which I hate so much. They're ugly as hell, in my personal opinion.
Thank you.
And
especially the prime one at SummerSlam, that looked
off. That was a Hummer.
No, that's the Hummer.
That
was a Hummer.
But they both have four wheels. Case in point, it's the same type of car. They have four wheels.
Right. But my thing is, like, if you're going to make the title relevant, first of all, you gotta be in WWE, man, and two, you gotta have more than 2-3 title defenses. So I disagree on Undertaker's take that Logan Paul make the U.S. title more relevant, because if so, he would have had more target going after him, and he would have stayed current in WWE. That's just my take.
Yeah, I agree with you. And again, Mr. Calloway, if you're listening to this, I respect you. I like everything you've done in the ring, but come on, man. Like I this is one of the worst U.S. title reigns that we've ever seen. Like this is, I've said this even during the live stream. His title reign was worse than when Ambrose held that title for a long time. Because at least Ambrose like competed and defended that title. Like he only defended I think 9 times when he held it. At least he was like defending it constantly. Like Logan Paul only did it twice. I mean, as much of a piece of work Logan Paul is, he's great in the ring, but his U.S. title reign did nothing well. Like his U.S. title reign, I think, did more harm than good for WWE. And yes, they got the clicks. Yes, they got the advertisement on his podcast. Yes, you got the social media posts, even though now, after SummerSlam, with how Logan Paul ran his social media accounts, it's probably not the best. This U.S. title reign was not great. It was, I'm not going to say flop, but it was kind of a fail. But I'm glad the positive is LA Knight finally got that title. They rewrit the wrong. He should have won that thing at WrestleMania 40. And I'm glad LA Knight's got it. And I got a great comparison because I was talking to my friend about this. My friend called LA Knight this version's DDP, who got to the main show in his later career. Even though LA Knight had a much more time in the ring, he never hit his peak until he was like in his 40s. DDP did that when he was in WCW. And this is sort of like, he's basically become the new version of DDP. I'm just glad LA Knight has the US title. I'm glad Logan Paul's reign is done. and over with, and I never want to see him hold another title in this company ever again. I don't
Unless
want to see it.
unless he's taking WWE serious. I think he's taking WWE serious, but I don't think, in my point of view, he's not taking it serious as he should. By you showing up week after week after week. Oh, and quick another point. Liv Morgan, she's making the women's world title relevant, and she defended it. I think what more times than Logan Paul did. I think 3 or 4 times before Rhea Ripley came back. She's making her title relevant and all. So I mean, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't disagree with the relevancy thing more than you guys. Um, the clicks in the eyes are what's all that matters. More eyes were on the U.S. title than they have been, and I can't tell you how long. And you have to build it up to that level where everybody's watching it. Everybody was watching it to see Logan Paul lose. That's what the heel did to make that title relevant, because everyone's like, oh my God, this guy never defends the belt. He just needs to drop it. And he's walking around here like he's the greatest U.S. champion of all time. That I think is crazy. But to say, a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's the greatest title reign of all time. I think that's insane. I think that's
Michael Cole even said that during SummerSlam, and he immediately backtracked it.
That's insane to say. I can think of 2 off the top of my head: John Cena, Kevin Owens. That's without thinking at all. But like, to say this title is more relevant now than it has been, I can't even tell you. When Logan Paul won it off of Rey Mysterio, literally no one cared about that title at all.
They cared,
and all of a sudden,
they cared more for Logan saving Rey than Logan winning the title.
Correct. But all of a sudden now that Logan Paul held it and he did this heel job and everybody hated him and just wanted him to lose, now you got the right guy to beat him. Did they do it at the wrong time? Yeah, I agree. I think he should have won at WrestleMania, but they wanted to drag it out because Cleveland is Logan Paul's home state. I understand that, whatever. But now that LA Knight has this title, like Bernard said, he's going to start having everybody come after it because they're like, oh, this is the title that people want to see now. It's not a title that's just freaking there in a 45. Respectfully, I love Rey Mysterio. He goes better than 20-year-olds. Some 20-year-olds go now. But when he had that title, it did not mean anything. It was a piece of gold on that man's waist.
No, meant nothing. Meant nothing at all. Here's the one other thing I don't understand. You were already getting that clicks with, the U.S. title being on this podcast, right? You were already getting those clicks as Logan Paul has been doing this for like, what was it, a year now he first started? It was one of the Saudi shows he started. He's been there.
Against Roman, yeah.
What are you expecting, like, adding the U.S. title there? If you want to give him a short reign, okay. That's fine. I have no complaints with that. But a long title reign with 2 reigns, come on. That is booking malpractice. That is booking malpractice.
Exactly.
And so that was that match. And we can go to another interesting booking decision. I wouldn't say it's malpractice necessarily, but women's WWE Championship, Nia Jax versus Bayley at SummerSlam. It was kind of what we expected, kind of a stink fest, a little bit of a bathroom break. We did that live stream. We're going to be trying to do that during most of the PLEs, but it wasn't great. Nia got the belt. I mean, a lot of people are happy for her. I get it. She's been around a long time, but like, I hope this reign's not a long one. But at the same time, what were you going to do with Bayley? There wasn't really much left for her to do either. So it was just kind of time. And now, like we said at the show, it's Tiffy time. That's what this story was about. She tried to cash in, didn't go so hot. But when Nia was holding out that title, she could not take her eyes off it.
Yep.
Tiffany, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's my thing about it. And then I'm gonna let you go, Nicholas, and shake again. Like I said, congratulations to Nia. I saw her hug her mom, her Auntie Ida, The Rock's mom. I'm happy for her and Tiffy time, but I got some points I want to get at, which I've been thinking about it today at work too. It's like with these factions and these little tag team buddies and all, I'm looking at it now. How long is this going to last? Because this because now it's giving me vibes like Alexa Bliss type vibes where Nia was champion at that time when she
Oh,
won the title from Alexa Bliss, and then it's like Nia got manipulated by Alexa Bliss and all, and Alexa Bliss cashed in on her the same night that she won the briefcase. Now this one is like a little similar, but it's like a little different. Is that Tiffany, won the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Nia gifted her a brand new Money in the Bank briefcase, which is cool. But the question is, was it wise? Why would you brief? Why'd you gift? Why would you gift your best friend on live television a brand new briefcase where she can cash in on your ass in a matter of moments? So um I think Naya's going to hold the title for a little while longer than she did the first time, but I think round at a PLE. As a fact, I give it Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel is when Tiffany Stratton might cash in on her to become new champion. That's my take on it.
that's interesting. First off, I'm glad you mentioned the Nia and Alexa Bliss feud. That feud was terrible. I hated that
Right.
feud so, and I hated at the end when Nia won. And I think I might be wrong. She probably won the title. She then says, "Oh, uh, this is because why you shouldn't be a bully." What are you talking about? You've been bullying the whole roster for like 8 months. Yeah,
Exactly.
bully. But as for the match, that match was the worst of the show. Was it the worst Nia Jax match I've seen? No, because there's plenty of people she's injured and brutalized before, because she's green in the ring still. But I will say, pretty mid match. It was expected. I knew that Tiffany Stratton was going to cash in because like I said during the live stream at SummerSlam, special briefcase. WWE wants to make money off the special briefcase, so she's going to hold that title for at least 3 to 4 more months. Make sure they get all the money for her and everything like that.
It
Uh,
might be sooner than that.
might be sooner than that. I don't know. When is Crown Jewel? The next Crown
Crown
Jewel?
Jewel is no. The Crown Jewel is I think is October to early November.
Yeah,
And quick,
that's around the time where I think that Nia should drop it. I mean, I hope it's quicker because, like I said, I'm not a Nia Jax fan. No disrespect to the Nia Jax the person, because like she seems like a nice person, but I do not want to see a long reign with her. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry, Bernard.
and quick.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, and quick point. Then shake big. I'll let you go. But another thing too, with what Nia does, that kind of like eats at me a little bit. Don't don't give the energy to no fans or anything like that. It's like when she had won Queen of the Ring, she had said to her, I know you all not happy for me. Like, woman, come on, man. You just won Queen of the Ring. You know, block out the noise. LeBron James does that all the time. When LeBron James he sees and hears everything. You are the Queen of the Ring. You see and hear everything. Don't feed into it. When you come Friday with the title, because they're gonna do like a coronation or celebration,
Yeah.
celebrate and all. Don't say no. Don't say no. I know you're not happy for me, but don't no.
She
You
does that
you are the
all the
woman.
time. She does
Right.
that
You're the woman
all the
champion.
time.
You're the queen of the ring. You're the ring. You're the champion. Glow. Look at me now. Look at me now. Don't give me that type. Don't give me that type of energy and all. But go ahead, Shake Bait.
Yeah, I mean, it's just brutal. You got to hope it doesn't last all that long. The plan is obviously for Tiffany to cash in and betray her at some point. You just hope it's sooner rather than later. And the power of the sit reigns, as JC said. And unfortunately, that is the case, chat. We're stuck with Nia Jax as our women's world champion. Nowhere to run, baby. Nowhere to hide. It's her time. Everybody else, get out of the way. Listen,
Until Charlotte
there's
comes back.
Oh yeah, and yeah, until she cashes in her Charlotte in the Bank briefcase. We all forget
Yeah.
about that. I call it the Charlotte in the Bank briefcase because every time Charlotte comes back, she gets a free title run, free title challenges. Hot potatoes the title with her and Sasha Banks in 2017, just so that she could break Ric Flair's record. We know what you're doing, WWE. Uh, but yeah, she's gonna come back, cash in her Charlotte in the Bank briefcase, probably have another match. Hopefully not with Nia Jax. I'd rather see her face Tiffany Stratton when she cashes in her Charlotte in the Bank. And I don't think she's ready to come back yet from her knee injury. But when she does, I want to see her face more against Tiffany Stratton. I think that would be more of an appealing match. And we've seen Nia versus Charlotte in the past, and they have not. I don't know if they have gotten back together as close as they were with their fight in the ring. So I don't know if it's a good idea to put those two in a match, but
More than likely not.
Breaking news. Well, not breaking news. There's some rumors going around that Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton are planning a women's championship match at WrestleMania. I don't know what how true that is, but they saying it's a discussion going on right now.
it would make sense to do that at WrestleMania. Whenever they put, because we don't know fully how long Nia Jax's reign's going to be, so that could make sense to do it at WrestleMania. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Just-
I mean,
But as for the SummerSlam match, her and Bayley, it was boring. Like the worst in the match, the worst in the show. Let's move on. I'm done.
Dang.
Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn is the next on the docket. Don't got too much time left. We got to get through the main event as well. I think more discussion on that is probably due. Braun Breaker, we kind of all expected it. I kind of expected a little bit more out of Sammy, but I get why they did what they did. Braun Breaker looked amazing. I think this title reign's going to be here for a long time. And, I'm really happy for him. I've said it before, put him in the Hall of Fame now. He's on a track.
He has the potential to be better than Scott and Rick Steiner. And I love Scott Steiner's promo. In the ring, he's not that great. No offense to Mr. Steiner, and he kind of terrifies me with the words he says sometimes. But Braun Breaker he's got the it factor, and I'm interested to see where he goes from here with the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, like I said, I think I'm happy for Braun Breaker. Like I said, he's about to make the title relevant once again. Not saying Sammy did, and not saying Gunther did. What Gunther put it on an all-time high, but it's by how long he had it for. But we'll have for Braun Breaker. I'll see who like to step up to him to challenge him for that title. But Braun Breaker ain't holding no punches. He's calling out John Cena. He said, "John Cena, grow some balls and take this championship from me." Now, my question is to the guys here, you Shake and Bake and Nicholas and Chat. Do you think Braun Breaker is ready for that type of challenge? I guess a 16-time, possibly 17-time world champion.
That's more of a long-term question. I would have to say we'll see to that. He's got the potential to do it, but it's more of a long-term question. I can't answer that short-term, but he's got potential.
I can, and I'll answer it right now. Yes, he does have what it takes, and he will beat John Cena more than maybe he won't, because like we said, the Grand Slam is a factor, and they might want to do that for John. But would I be surprised if Braun Breaker won? No. Let's not forget that they let Austin Theory beat John Cena at WrestleMania for the U.S.
What a
title.
waste of time that was.
You know what I mean? So, why is it crazy for Braun Breaker with the track he's clearly on in WWE to beat a guy like John Cena? There's no reason to not, other than the fact that you want to give John Cena the career Grand Slam, which I'm totally okay with for the record. But to Bernard's question, that'd be awesome. I'm a John Cena day one. He is the reason I started watching wrestling when I was 9 years old. And if Braun Breaker retained his title against John Cena, I'd be up out my chair hooting and hollering. I'd be hyped.
I said that John Cena putting him over. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I don't think, because John Cena still has it some now. I could be wrong, but yeah, it'd be exciting to watch. But I sure would like to see him get the IC title, complete that Grand Slam championship run. But I won't be surprised if John Cena won the IC title, drop it, and then break the record to become world or WWE champion.
Oh, you guys want some news? Apparently, according from Sean Ross Sapp, Bobby Lashley's contract is expected to expire this weekend.
Yeah, he gone.
So, yeah. Spoiler alert, he's gone. MVP is absolutely gone with his tweets. But yeah, now that Ross has tweeted that, it's pretty much confirmed Bobby Lashley's going to be done at the end of the week. I wish him nothing but the best. I think he's going to Japan. Will he go to AEW? Maybe, but I think Japan could be the next option for him. Sorry, I'm getting off track here. I just saw this on my
No, you
Yeah,
good.
no, you're good. Thank you, Bobby, for all you've done in WWE. Can't say that it was
Can't
a
say the
bad
same
run.
with MVP. Can't say the same
No,
with
yeah.
MVP.
Nah.
No
Couple world
disrespect to him.
championships for him, United States championships, great feuds here and there. Hats off. Bobby Lashley, wonderful WWE career.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Bobby.
Second tenure was a lot better than the first tenure. His first tenure was a
Yeah.
disaster.
Yeah,
That's
if
going.
COVID didn't screw that up, I think his title reign would have been a lot better as a heel because I think if the way him and MVP were going, and I think somehow for some reason that would have been booked differently. Him and Drew McIntyre WrestleMania. Oh, what? Look out, Bobby! And Drew's like, what? And for no reason, going to stupid main events. Let's go to a stupid main event of SummerSlam, which was a figurehead match. We all knew the reason we were there, and it came through, thank God. If that was a letdown, I think everybody in Cleveland might have set Cleveland Brown Stadium aflame. But Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, Bloodline rules. We got to stop reusing these specialty rules matches all the time, in my opinion. But nonetheless, they did it at SummerSlam in the main event. Cody Rhodes was the victor. Solo Sikoa took a big fat L. And his character work after was interesting, and I'll touch on that later. But gentlemen, how'd you feel about the main event? We can get into the return a little bit after, but the main event, the match itself, how'd you feel about it?
Let me
I
start
feel
off.
great.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
I'll go for it. I'm sorry, Bernard.
No, you
First,
good.
with this match, I gotta say, disappointment. Really, I mean, it wasn't a big disappointment because I'm not a big Solo Sikoa guy. He's clearly not a main eventer. But first off, big disappointment. No Usos, which I don't know how you don't have the Usos come back here. Especially, how do you leave Jey Usos as over as he is off of SummerSlam? That's just I don't know how you explain that. Another disappointment. It looked like Jacob Fatu got hurt. Now we did hear a rumor that was planned. Apparently, like he was planned to get hurt, which is stupid. But like seriously, how are you going to make the most dominant person ever to make him look like he's inhuman? Yet you're going to have him like have some sort of injury. Like, come on, guys. At least have him chase. KO and Randy Orton, have Solo have him chase them out of here because of the Tongans. Like, don't fake an injury. But it looks like even though he wasn't a walking boot, I will throw out there, but it looks like he should be okay. No, I'm guessing the x-rays are all good. Match itself was like nothing special. We'll get to the return later. And we're kind of pressed on time here. I do want to mention as well, Dakota Kai also got injured as well, which sucks. And damage control's been done for a while. But this has got to be it for damage control. I don't know how it goes on from there, but yeah, I'm sorry. Just had to mention that quickly. Bernard, you can go with the match now.
Like I said, the match was all right. It was all right. Like I say, I agree with you, Nicholas. Solo Sikoa, I'm just not sold on him. He's not that guy. I looked up Jacob Fatu. As a fact, I take Tama Tonga. I look at Jacob Fatu as more of a threat in the new bloodline, more so than Solo Sikoa.
And Tama Tonga. And
Tonga.
Tongaloa, who's terrible. He stinks too.
Yeah,
I mean, he stinks. How do you botch sending Cody Rhodes to the corner of the ring? How do you do that? My God.
Damn eye patch, dude.
Yeah, me.
He can't even get a low blow properly.
Yeah, and then when he did, he also punched Kevin Owens in the head. So, oops.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on, Bernard.
Well, I look at Tongaloa as the weakest of the group, and then Tama Tonga, he just too crazy, anything like that. I mean, it's like the more I look at this new bloodline, I kind of appreciate the original bloodline better. You know what? Roman, the Usos, and Solo. That was more of a stronger group than this one right here, than this new bloodline group right here. It's like, out of all the group of the new bloodline, I look at Jacob Fatu as that dude. That dude is crazy. Ain't no way you could be that tall, that big, and you're doing somersaults and whispering the wind and all that type of shit on all at one time. It's just no way. So
Thank
again,
God, thank God his injury is not severe, because if his injury was severe, this new bloodline's DEAD dead. Oh,
Well,
thank God. I mean, he's still hurt, but thank God he's not severely hurt. Because if he was
yeah,
severely hurt and out long term, this faction's dead. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe you could save it with Hikuleu, who's probably going to get brought into this bloodline. But if he was out a while, this faction's done.
yeah. So my take on the match is, if I give a letter grade, I'll give it a C plus, B minus at best.
Yeah, it was. Listen, you said no offense to Solo Sikoa. Not personally, I don't know the guy. A lot of offense to Solo Sikoa. What the hell happened? How did we go from the street champ in NXT, who everyone's afraid of, to the enforcer of the bloodline, who even Roman's kind of afraid of, to now a scalded dog who's sold for 15 minutes after a loss? Okay, I get it. The character talent after what happened, but dude, what?
I
You
miss
don't
NXT
even look like the
Solo.
strongest member of your own group now, and we're supposed to, like, I get it. This new bloodline is never supposed to be as strong as the original. That's not the point. I understand that. But my God, does Solo Sikoa look like a 5-year-old? He just challenged for the Universal Championship. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the fact that he should have never been there in the first place? And if that he wasn't the enforcer in the bloodline, that he would not be if he was forced to do this on his own? I don't think he would have made it out of the mid-card. I don't know if he would have won a mid-card championship. This is insane. When left to his own devices, Solo Sikoa cannot do it. I'm sorry. Again, personally, I don't know you. I'm sure I'd like you. You're probably a cool dude. You like, but my God, buddy. Thank God Roman came back, because I couldn't take a minute of that.
Preach.
Ooh.
Sorry,
Well,
like I just sometimes I can't handle myself, and I gotta.
Dude, I'm with you there, man. I'm with you. This like, I miss Solo Sikoa NXT version. NXT version of Solo Sikoa was great. I loved how it was so like, I don't know what happened with him, and he's just not ready for the main event. This is why I really wish Umaga was still alive today, because this would have been where Umaga was. No offense to Solo. If Umaga was still around today, this would be his spot.
Yeah.
This would. And listen, Solo, I don't know where they go now after this. I mean, the only way they save this is if they have The Rock say he was under command under The Rock, which, I mean, that's the only saving grace they have to this. And the Tongans, I mean, I always said Tong Lois stinks. Tama Tonga, they do have something with him. But Solo, I'd rather have Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu over Solo Sikoa. And I don't know where they go from here with Solo. Maybe they're going to have a feud with Roman, and Civil War Bloodline War Games match probably is going to be the plan. But after that, I don't see how you use Solo Sikoa. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. Where does he go from here?
But here's the thing. I'm gonna answer that right now. So where they go from here, because Solo and Roman, they're about to have interactions with each other. Probably on this week on probably tomorrow night on SmackDown, probably next Friday for SmackDown. I say they might set this matchup at Bad Blood. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. Somehow I say The Rock shows up unexpectedly, turns on Roman, and has Solo Sikoa pin Roman. That's the only way, and that's when we'll go and set up the Bloodline Civil War feud between Roman Reigns and the Usos, and probably be Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes to join in versus The Rock versus the Tonga Twins and Jacob Fatu. Who knows?
Yeah, and I think another big thing that was missing, no Usos. I mentioned this earlier. That's the biggest disappointment to me. Not that Solo Sikoa was going to flop, because that was obviously seen. It was because the Usos didn't show up. That was a tremendous miss.
Wow.
That's tough.
It really is tough. I really wish that Priest and Walter finished this pay-per-view off. And I get why they didn't, because Cody is going to be booked as the guy. But I mean, I don't know where they go from here. I really it's just a shame. It really is.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But hey, that's going to just about do it for us. Appreciate everybody hanging out in chat. appreciate everyone just hanging out watching. If you're watching the VOD back, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with a friend that likes wrestling, maybe someone that yells like I do, so I don't feel so alone next time. But no, listen, it's been a blast. We'll be here the same time, the same day, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Next week, we'll also do watch parties for every premium live event. We'll be reacting to those. Don't miss that. And don't forget to check out StadiumRant.com for more content just like this. Follow them on all social media for more podcasts and clips and the latest news from your favorite sports and your favorite teams. That's going to do it for the Ringside Boys. Until next time, peace and love, baby.
Acknowledge us.